Yes, that was an earthquake, where it was felt, and how you can prepare for quakes in the future.
From shooting at officers to a house fire, we're learning about a suspect who barricaded himself inside a home here in Encanto.
They hide under whatever they can find, including going into homes.
What's bringing out more rattlesnakes and what to do if you find one?
Yet another hot day across San Diego County, but this is the hottest before we start to get cooler through the rest of the week. It's 6 a.m. on Tuesday, August 29th, and you're up with CBS 8.
Breaking news, yes, that was an earthquake that you may have woken up to. A 3.7 magnitude quake hit off the coast of San Clemente and was felt all over the county. Glad you're with us here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nadia Rampur. That earthquake hit at about 1:05 in the morning. So yeah, maybe some people had a restless night out. One viewer in Pacific Beach telling us car alarms went off because of it. Another viewer said he felt it there in Oceanside.
On Reddit, people said they felt it in Fallbrook, a little bit in Mission Valley, but they thought the dog was kicking the bed in this situation, also in downtown San Diego. So
we are working for you. Want to keep you safe before the next earthquake. Here are some reminders for you from San Diego County officials. During an earthquake, drop, cover, and hold. That means get down, cover your head and your neck, get under a table or desk if possible, and then just hold on until the shaking stops.
You can also prepare by organizing emergency supplies plus important documents and medication. The county also has an earthquake early warning app that can detect the first waves of significant earthquake. You can find Shake Ready SD in the Apple App Store and Google Play. Also following breaking news from overnight, we are learning that the person who shot at San Diego police officers and then barricaded themselves inside an Encanto home is now dead.
You see the location there on your screen. It all started last night about 7 o'clock in the 500 block of Iona Drive. Quite a few officers on scene. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live near the scene now with the very latest developments. A lot happened overnight. Good morning, Dana Marie.
Good morning, Eric and Netta. That's right. Right now we are deep in the investigation process here of exactly what unfolded. Preliminary information suggests that a suspect was shooting at his family, and then when officers arrived, that suspect shot at officers. Now, I do want to break down exactly what happened. It all started around 7 p.m. last night. Officers responded to reports that there was a shooting near Market Street, where we are right now. When police arrived, the suspect was armed with a long rifle and running through backyards. That's when the gunman reportedly shot at officers, and at least one officer shot back. I do want to mention no officers were injured, thankfully, in this exchange. Then a standoff situation started. Police surrounded the area as the suspect barricaded himself inside a home on Iona Street. During all of this, a fire began in the home where the gunman was believed to be. We have confirmed that the suspect is now dead and don't know if the suspect was struck by any of the shots fired by police or injured in the fire. We all are trying to talk to a sergeant here on scene. We also know the San Diego Police Department found a victim suffering from a gunshot wound separate from that suspect. They were given medical attention. Now, again, this is still a very active investigation with police still on scene here on 60th and Market Street. Although that area is not blocked off, it's not really impacting traffic because it is one of these side streets. They are saying if you are in the area, just avoid it because as the morning commute progresses, we don't want any backup. Of course, if there's any updates from the police here on scene, we will bring that to you as we've been here all morning long and will continue to do so. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live from Encanto.
All right, things are heating up here. Parts of San Diego expected to see temperatures rise this week. An excessive heat warning has been extended through tomorrow night.
Yeah, very uncomfortable heat. As always, it's important for you to stay safe. We want you to do that. CBS 8's Chris Grow live at Iron Mountain in Poway with some important reminders. And Chris, it got into the triple digits in parts of Poway yesterday. So another hot one today. What can we do?
Exactly. It may not be triple digits today, but it's still going to be upwards of 95, 97 degrees out here. So that's not exactly a temperature that I look at on the radar and go, yeah, you know what, sounds like a good day to go hiking. But we do know that there are enthusiasts who decide that they're going to be hiking no matter what the temperature is, unless, of course, it is too hot or maybe it's raining. But we're not going to be seeing any rain to cool us down today. So if you are going to be headed out to the trails, of course, you want to make sure that you're listening to your body. Make sure that you're paying attention for potentially any signs of either heat exhaustion or any type of heat stroke symptoms. Now, of course, you'll notice with heat exhaustion, you might start to be a little dizzy, you'll be sweating profusely, and that may be when you need to turn around. You feel that insatiable thirst, if you will. With heat stroke, you'll start to notice that sweat turns dry. You start to maybe even feel cold and clammy, and that's when you really should, again, really try to turn around, maybe even call for some help from a friend or maybe even first responders, depending on how bad it is. But if you are going to be headed out here for any type of exercise today, or maybe you have to work out in these elements, make sure that you're using a baseball cap. Make sure that you have plenty of water on you. Wear loose-fitting clothing, because at the end of the day, if you do have to be out here, you should be prepared. Another thing, too, is that while we're very much paying attention to the heat, this is also a good idea to make sure that we remind everyone to use sunscreen. Make sure you have that UV protection on you, because while the sun is out, the clouds are not going to be providing any type of cover. You want to make sure you're not only protecting yourself from the heat, but also those UV rays. So again, for more tips and for more help on how to stay safe during this heat wave that we're experiencing, you can go to CBS8.com and click on that story link. Eric and Netta.
Chris Grow, thank you so much for that. And woo, look at this. This morning, the heat bringing out more rattlesnakes. Those are long ones. A local snake wrangler says last week's rain forced snakes out of their burrows. They got filled with water. Bruce Ireland with San Diego Snake Wranglers saying since snakes are cold-blooded, they like to come out to warm up. But once they get too hot, they then look for shade to try to cool down.
They hide under whatever they can find, including going into homes. And then about 5 o'clock, when that sun starts to come down, they come back out and start hunting again.
Okay, yeah, they're on the search for food, but then when they need shade, they might go into your home. Ireland says if you come across a snake, give it space. If it is near your home, call a professional. They'll take care of this. If you get bit, be sure you go to one of our larger hospitals. They have anti-venom. And this morning, Idalia now being upgraded to a hurricane. Yeah, those winds getting stronger. It's expected to be a Category 3 when it makes landfall in Florida tomorrow. We know the water is hot there off the coast of Florida. Right now, people across that state preparing near Gainesville off the Gulf Coast of Mexico. Boats now pulled out of the water onto land, as you see in Steinhatchee. In St. Johns County near Jacksonville, residents filling sandbags ahead of the hurricane. Then in South Florida, Bradenton, Fort Myers, residents stocking up on food, water, batteries, and flashlights. Meanwhile, look at that swirling off the coast there in the Atlantic. Hurricane Franklin already churning out in the Atlantic, likely to cause some rough surf conditions along the southeastern U.S. coast. This imagery from NOAA showing Idalia and Franklin all in one view here. So far, Franklin not expected to hit Florida. Idalia, though, of course, will cause a lot of issues. It looks like it's getting closer and closer. Let's check in with Evan Narani joining us. You're tracking this one too, huh, Evan?
Yeah, now a Category 1 storm. We're expected to see rapid intensification, as we call it, over the next 24 hours. So here's the status right now. 80 miles per hour as far as the winds around the eye wall of this storm. Continues north, expected currently to make landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. Again, remember that category is strictly based off of wind speeds. The biggest impact, though, to northern Florida is likely going to more so be storm surge and rain. Those are going to be the two biggest factors that we watch out for. And you can see how we see this storm increase in intensity from the 80 mile per hour range around the eye wall to 120 miles per hour by Wednesday at 2 a.m. So just beyond 24 hours from now, or just under 24 hours from now, I should say. And then right after that, toward tomorrow afternoon, is when that landfall comes as a Category 3 storm. It curves out over the Atlantic and then deteriorating at that point to a tropical storm and a post-tropical cyclone. Good news about Franklin is not expected to make landfall, as you heard Netta say. So no matter the strength of this storm, it's not expected to hit any of our continental U.S. and really just curve up along the East Coast before deteriorating north of us. Here's the forecast for today. We here locally are dealing with quite the opposite of an issue. We are dry across San Diego County. In fact, relative humidity values are driving themselves all the way down to about 20-25% or so. Very, very dry. We're also seeing quite hot of temperatures. So Excessive heat warning and heat advisory both now remain in effect through Wednesday. They've been extended for an extra 24 hours. Inland, we're looking at mid-90s, 96 for the mountains, 116 for the deserts. Coastline is still the place to find the most mild of conditions. Marine layer just starting to rebuild itself this morning, so watch out. Even east of the 5, we're starting to pick up on some more cloud cover. That is the case all the way across the Bight, though, not just strictly for San Diego. And then this afternoon, we're going to be about 12 degrees warmer than average in Ramona, 10 degrees warmer than average for Borrego Springs. Coastline is above average, but only by a smaller margin, about 5 degrees or so. We'll take a look at the 8-day forecast, talk about how hot we're going to get for the next couple days, and then what that cool down looks like. But let's take a look in the meantime at your border wait times out the door. Right now at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, we're looking at a 110-minute wait, nearly 2 hours. Otay Mesa Port of Entry, you've got 1 hour there that you're going to be waiting to get across the border. Once you get into San Diego County, you can head to cbs8.com/traffic. It'll give you the latest on what our highway conditions look like here. Back to you.
Well, this morning, the San Diego County supervisors will decide how 2 communities in North County could get cheaper water. Fallbrook and Rainbow leaders want to leave the San Diego County Water Authority and get less expensive water from Riverside County. Right now, it's up to people living in those communities to vote on that change in November. But a proposed measure, the County Water Authority Act, would include all of San Diego County residents in that vote. Today, supervisors are set to decide whether to give their support to this bill. Leaders say their support would put their small towns up against the bigger cities, making it unlikely they can succeed.
Allowing us to have local control rather than big government coming in and telling us what to do, that's really important to the vitality of our community.
Leaders say that within the last 5 years, Fallbrook and Rainbow have lost more than 10,000 acres of farmland because of the expensive water rates they are currently paying.
And now, still ahead, when former President Donald Trump will stand trial. Plus,
what caused a helicopter to fall out of the sky and crash into an apartment building? And will tropical storms become more frequent as the climate changes? Evan's going to break down the science.